What's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and welcome to episode 8, and what will be the final episode in my Football Manager 16 beta save with Everton. And today we're going to finish the Premier League season with matches at home versus Bournemouth, and then away to Watford. But before we get to those matches, we must go over how we've been faring in the league thus far. And since our last double live count, we have bounced back into solid form. We have jumped into 7th place, 59 points through 36 matches, 3 points clear of Leicester City, and only 1 point back of Aston Villa. And I did say that winning out was probably going to be the biggest challenge for us down in these last 5 matches. But just taking a look at the schedule, we are currently on that track. Of course, we beat Liverpool 4-3 in our last live com. But since then, we have defeated Sunderland 3-1 away from home, Aston Villa 3-2 at home, and then West Ham 3-0. We traveled to the Stadium of Light, and this is what we came back with, a solid 3-1 victory. John Stones, Aidan McGeady, and Leighton Baines all notching goals on the day, with only Jermaine Defoe getting one for Sunderland. 13 shots, 6 of them on target, majority possession. Everybody, at least along the back line, did pretty well. There were a couple of mediocre performances in the middle of the park, like Darren Gibson and James McCarthy, but 6'7", 6'8", being the worst players out of the whole bunch, not all that bad whatsoever. It was a solid 3 points, and if we wanted to stack wins and stack points to help push us into the Europa League position, it all had to start here. And then we took on 6th place Aston Villa at home, where we came away the victors at 3-2. Romelu Lukaku picking himself up a brace with Gerard Deulofeu. He is magic, you know, getting himself a goal 3 minutes into the second half. But Aston Villa weren't going to go quietly away into the night, as Rudy Gestede getting himself a 2-minute brace, as the first goal was a wonder strike from about 25 yards out, and then stealing the ball on the opening kickoff, taking it the length of the pitch, well, from halfway line all the way into the box, was able to get Aston Villa to within 1. But their finishing really let them down, as after taking 13 shots, only 4 of them were on target, compared to Everton's 22 and 13 on target. After looking at that, you had to look at the defensive line as well as the midfielders, who honestly let Gestede get away from him. But at the end of the day, we did clamp down in the final 10 minutes and were able to pull away with another win and another 3 points. Disaster struck before this West Ham match, as not only with Tim Howard being out injured, Joel Robles went and got himself injured in training the day before. So I had to recall Dragowski, if you remember, the goalkeeper that I had signed at the winter transfer window, specifically for this reason. Because none of the other goalkeepers, like Connor Hunt, and Jindrik Stanek, are definitely not first-team goalkeeper material. So I went out and got Dragowski for the specific reason that if I needed to have an emergency goalkeeper, he would be there. And he did. He came in the clutch. Even though we allowed 1 shot on target, he was able to save that and keep a clean sheet as we defeated West Ham at the Boleyn Ground 3-0. Deulofeu, Lukaku, and Barkley all getting on the score sheet, as we took 12 shots, only 4 of them on target, but keeping nearly 60% possession of the ball. A perfect 12 points from our last 4 matches is how I want to do it, and we are that much closer to securing European football in the next season. But now if we want to finish the job, we must do it against both Bournemouth and Watford, 2 teams we can beat. Question is, will the team focus mentally? Will they show up mentally as well as physically to help secure the final 6 points? With that said, let's get to our match versus Bournemouth. And Bournemouth are going to come out with your bog standard 4-4-2, and we're going to stick with the 4-2-3-1 that we've used for the majority of this season, and this is how the team sheet's going to line up. Dragowski's going to be in net with Coleman, Stones, Jagielka, and Baines along the back line. I'm not going to be using Funes Mori, as he himself is also out injured. Our 2 center mids will be McCarthy and Tim Sparv. Our 3 attacking mids across from right to left, Morales, Barkley, and Deulofeu. And of course, Romelu Lukaku sitting up front with his 34 goals in 42 appearances. He's got to be in the running for the Golden Boot of the Premier League this season. Against last place Bournemouth, anything other than a win would be an utter disappointment, as well as it hinder our chance on European football. So let's kick off hope for a win, and see what happens. Alright, Jags has indicated that he may have picked up a twisted knee, so I'm going to be subbing him off. Brendan Galloway is going to take his place. It's only been 28 minutes, but still no score, and already to see someone coming away with possibly end-of-season injury, because our next match is only a week away, is rather disappointing. So Brendan Galloway on for Phil Jagielka, and it's still early, but I'd like to see some movement towards goal. Alright, just before the 36th minute, and it was a goal kick to Bournemouth as we finally get our first highlight of the day. Bournemouth in those bright pink kits. The ball went up to Danny Graham, but they still have the ball still coming through. Mark Pugh to Callum Wilson, who just fires wide. That was dangerous. 2 minutes of stoppage time on the clock, but 1 minute in, we have an attacking chance. Can we come away with a goal? Leighton Baines inside, and what a great strike from the captain, Leighton Baines. He makes it 1-0 to Everton right on the stroke of halftime. Starting with a deep throw-in from Seamus Coleman, we get some great passing movement in from Morales, finds Leighton Baines on his left foot, one-times it, and it's a goal for Everton. But as we reach halftime, as I said before, we've been pretty lackadaisical on the defense, and attacking-wise, nothing really has come forth except for that one good attack. We've had 10 shots, only 3 of them on target, and of course the 1 goal. But I'm definitely far from pleased with what I'm seeing from this team, especially defensively. Hopefully in the second 45 they can clamp down as well as get another goal or two. So let's kick off. Second 45. 57 minutes in, we have ourselves another highlight. Out to Baines on the wing, has several options in the box. Deulofeu, once again, Lukaku off the post, and he should have scored that. Off the crossbar and out. Free kick now to Bournemouth. It just was a couple of minutes later. Good pickup by Dragowski. Now what's he going to do with it? He better kick it long. That's all we can ask for. Just kick it deep. Hope we come down with it. It's Barkley. It's McCarthy to Spar, but maybe we can lead something here. Deulofeu cutting inside. It's able to Lukaku. What a great pass. I was surprised that ball was slotted through like it did. I need to see that on replay. But Lukaku makes it 2-0 to Everton. And some great passing after that long goal kick. Deulofeu sliding it through Lukaku, just able to hit it on his left foot, his strong side, and doubles the lead. Alright, for more bit of a squad rotation, I'm going to sub out Tim Sparv, and Muhammad Besic is going to come on for him. And this is in the 68th minute. I was about to say he's going to switch to a ball-winning mid, but that's what James McCarthy actually has. So actually Besic and McCarthy are going to swap roles. And McCarthy is better. Actually, they're both better at ball-winning mids, so you know what? Make them both ball-winning mids, and there you go. And with 10 minutes left to go, I'm going to make one final sub. Ross Barkley is going to make way for Tom Cleverley, sitting up there at the top. I think he's better as an attacking mid. Yeah, he's good as an attacking mid. So Tom Cleverley on for Ross Barkley. 10 minutes left to go in this match. Let's try and hold on to that 2-0 lead. 3 minutes left to go. Morales with a throw-in from Coleman. He gets it right back. He has several options in the box, taking it to the byline. Into Coleman. Coleman tried to loft it deep. It falls to Besic. Besic way out wide to Deulofeu. Back to Besic. Trying to find some space through that Bournemouth defense. Lands to Cleverley. Out to Deulofeu. Finds McCarthy, who took a shot, but great save from that Bournemouth keeper to prevent a third goal going through. And with 2 minutes of stoppage time come and gone, the ref blows the full-time whistle. It is Everton 2, Bournemouth 0, and that's 5 wins out of our last 5. Let's take a look and see where that places us in the table. So we stay in 7th place, and there we can go no lower than that, as Leicester look to have lost their match. We could actually, in our next match, overtake not just Aston Villa, but Manchester United if they lose, and that could see us ending up in 5th place. Surprising after how many times we've seen Everton with injuries, especially at the early part of the season. Who would have thought that Everton could possibly end the season in 5th place? But we won't know until we play the final match day, so let's get right to it. Away to Watford. We'll be back in just a second. Alright, final match day of the season. We're going out to Vicarage Road to take on Watford. And this is how we're going to line up. Dragowski's still in net thanks to both Tim Howard and Joe Robles being out injured. With Coleman, Stones, Jagielka, and Baines the back line. Gibbo and McCarthy will sit in the center of the park, with Morales, Barkley, and De La Feu ahead of them, and big man Lukaku sitting up front. His 35 goals in 43 matches are really, really something. He is second in the Golden Boot and needs 3 goals today if he wants to pass Sergio Aguero. So I'm hoping for a Lukaku hat-trick, but I'm even more hoping for an Everton win, because that may possibly push us up into 5th place. So let's kick off and see what happens. Not even 90 seconds in, we got our first highlights. It's a throw-in. Barkley going well wide. Finds Morales. Morales! 80 seconds into the match, Morales makes a 1-0 to Everton after a great pass to set that up. Great pass from Barkley, who finds Morales. Stops it. 1 touch, 1 shot, 1 kill, 1 goal for Everton. But something I do not like to see, we get a highlight directly from the kickoff. And Watford does very well to corral it. That's a missed tackle. That is, wow, defense. Letting James Wilson get through to knot it up just 1 minute later. What the hell just happened? The defense just fell asleep and let James Wilson come all the way through. Yes, we play a defensive line that's high to begin with, but that's just ridiculous. 6.5 minutes in now. Another highlight. Gibbo. Tackled off the ball by Barami. Barami now has them on the break. Victor Ibarbo with all that pace. What's he going to do with it? Keeps that wide. What a cross in, and it's 2 to Watford. Marco Fabian putting that in nets. Probably a header. But Watford are doing one better than us. We had 1 shot, 1 kill. They've had 2 shots and 2 kills. It was a great cross to set up a good goal. Just past the quarter-hour mark, and we get ourselves a Watford highlight as they are continuing their great passing movement all the way through. It's Fabian again. Good save from Dragowski. Conceding the corner, but we cannot allow them to continue on this attacking movement. It's a great header away. Watford now just cutting out all of our passes while making some great ones of their own. James Wilson, is he going to do anything with it? Barbo and Wilson have had some great movement there. Good tip away from Dragowski, conceding another corner. But at the same time, this Watford offense is stifling. It's stifling anything we're trying to do up front. Another corner in from Watford right on the edge of halftime. Victor Ibarbo, good block from Morales. But Watford still in possession, still in control, and Ibarbo just shoots it high. I'm beginning to think that we just caught Watford off guard with that opening 90-second goal. As since then, we haven't really done much of anything, and it's been all Watford in front of net, around net, all the way up to the halfway line. We just cannot get anything going on their side of the field. Things need to change drastically. Things need to change, and it all starts at the back line. Everyone's playing average along the defensive line, and then you look up towards the midfield. Gibbo and McCarthy, once again, not all that great. De La Feu frustrated, and rightfully so, since he hasn't been producing as well as he has in matches past. And when you can't get the ball up to Lukaku, well, he really can't do anything. The team doesn't look like they want to win, but I'm going to hold out for at least another 10 minutes before making any subs. So let's hope we can turn it around, get a goal or two, come away with something like a draw or better. All right, couple minutes in, and it's a goal kick from us. Can we hold it down? Morales and Ibarbo were fighting off it, and Ibarbo eventually comes down with it, and now he has the ball again and is running free, but he takes a weak shot, easily saved from Dragowski. Is essentially, can we hold on to the ball now? And De La Feu had some space, but made a very weak pass up to Lukaku, which was cut out from Watford. And now here they come. Wilson, he is in prime position to score and does. It's Watford 3, Everton 1, and the collapse is just about complete. I think it's time to start making subs out now, especially on the back line. I'm looking at Jags. I'm looking at Gibbo in the midfield. They just have not done very well today. So that being said, we're going to sub him out right now, right damn now. Brandon Galloway is going to come in for Jagielka, And then in the middle of the park, Gibbo's coming out, and who should replace him? Either Sparv, Besic, Cleverly. Actually, I'm thinking Besic would be the best bet here. Get him out, and he's better. He's a good deep line player. Actually, he's a better ball winning mid. We'll do that. And for the next 40 minutes, well, we need something. We need a kickstart. We need to kick up the ass if we want to come back and tie this at the very least. Free kick from Besic out to Morales, trying to cut inside, but it's blocked away from a Watford player. Morales now coming back out to McCarthy, who goes out wide to Baines. Several options in the box. Who will it find? It found Lukaku, but the shot was blocked away. And Lukaku sees himself injured, and I need to make that sub, and I need to make that sub out now. Morales is a striker, and I will bring him up to that position. But out on the right now, we're going to have to bring in Aaron Lennon. He's very pacey. I like him like that. But now we need to use his pace to the best of our ability. Baines now getting it through. Lukaku, you had a bruised head. You didn't have bruised shins. You could have raced after that. It wasn't hindering his speed. Now Watford are doing very well to play it out from the back. And Wilson just breaks free. Oh, Jesus. It's the James Wilson show today. As he gets his hat trick and makes it 4-1 to Watford. And it's pretty much all over at this point. I don't see us coming back, which is rather a shame. And with Manchester United winning, there was no chance of us to even jump into 5th. So I'm guessing we may have to just settle for 7th. And then hope that whoever wins the FA Cup is in the top 6. So then we would be able to get Europa League. But we'll check after this. Barkley taking a shot from about 20 yards out and is well wide. And now with all 3 of my subs made, I cannot sub out Ross Barkley, who just picked himself up an injury. So we just have to play our last 13 minutes down to 10 men. Rather unfortunate there. 10 minutes from time. We get ourselves a goal kick. McCarthy tried to lay it up to Deulofeu, but clearly away. Morales steals the ball. Morales giving us a glimmer of hope, but there's just no way that we're going to come back. It's 4-2 now, but where was this earlier in the match? We've had 15 shots, 7 of them being on target. Watford 22-8. Definitely felt like we should have had more of these earlier. 2 minutes later, another goal kick from Dragowski. We are able to come down with it. McCarthy out to Deulofeu. He's trying to cut inside. He can't lay it off to Baines on the left. He's still cutting inside, still going forward. Aaron Lennon was offside anyway. 5 minutes of stoppage time thanks to all the injuries. And we are just coming into the 3rd minute of that. And it's a highlight to Watford. Or Watford going to add insult to injury. Fabian coming inside. He's still going inside. Good tackle away and good clearance away from Besic. Yeah, but with 2 minutes left on the clock, this match was decided long ago. It was the James Wilson show with his 3 goals, and he may get a 4th one. No, Fabian makes it 5 for Watford. He is onside, and he continues to down our dreams of pretty much securing automatic European football. Yeah, Watford were clearly the better team on the day. Just all this great passing. There was no way we could have stopped it. With a full-strength side, I'm really surprised. A full-strength side on 10 out of the 11 positions. Of course, Dragowski not being a first-choice keeper. I felt that we would have put up a better fight, and it started out so well, getting that goal 80 seconds in, but then it just all turned to hell after that. And so as you can see, 7th place, 62 points in 38 matches, just 1 meager point behind Aston Villa, and that would have secured an automatic spot into Europa League, as I believe, looking at the straight-up table, is said that Arsenal had won the Capital One Cup, so obviously the placement would have gone down to 6. Now we just need to hope whoever wins the FA Cup is in top 6 so that we can get Europa League placement. That being said, I'm going to simulate a week ahead just so we can finalize all the matches, FA Cup, Champions League, Europa League, as well as all the awards. So don't go anywhere. We will come right back and we'll end this season out proper. Okay, we're back and we're on the 22nd of May. We just finished up the FA Cup and it looks like Chelsea have won the FA Cup, and that only means one thing. That means Everton have in fact qualified for the Europa League, so we were able to secure European football in my first year of managing Everton, which is great. That's what I set out for from the off, and we were really close to not making it, but at the very end of the day, Europa League may not have a lot more money, may not have a lot of money like the Champions League, but it is still European football. It's good for the club financially as well as developing players. That being said, let's take a look at the other awards around the Premier League as well as who won the current Champions League and Europa League. So, 2015-2016 Young Player of the Year is given to Memphis Depay. He made 37 appearances, 20 goals for the youngster, 4 assists, and a 7.54 average rating. And this is basically the list going from bottom to the top. The Premier League Team of the Year features Harry Kane and Sergio Aguero up top, Eden Hazard, Santi Cazorla, Kevin De Bruyne, and Andrei Yarmolenko along the midfield. The lone Everton player on this list is Leighton Baines, with Jose Jimenez, Nicolas Otamendi, and Hector Bellerin along the back line, and Petr Cech, the starting goalkeeper. All great players, all I assume deserve to be up there, and I'm really happy that I was able to get one of my players in as well. The overall player of the year falls to Chelsea's Eden Hazard, 34 appearances, 11 goals, 12 assists, 7.60 average rating. Really, really a great performance the entire season for young Eden Hazard. The FWA Footballer of the Year goes to Kevin De Bruyne, 34 appearances, 5 goals, 21 assists, 7.42 average rating. Manager of the Year falls to Arsene Wenger as he led Arsenal to not just a Capital One Cup victory, but also a Premier League title as well. And taking a look at the competitions, this is what the final table looks like. Arsenal, 85 points, one ahead of Chelsea, who are also one ahead of Manchester City. Fourth place was Tottenham with 74 points. Manchester United, Aston Villa, and Everton round out the European placements. Then you have Leicester City, Newcastle, Liverpool down in 10th, which is really surprising. Watford, Southampton, Norwich City, Stoke, Crystal Palace, Swansea, and West Ham making up the rest of the safe teams, with West Brom, Sunderland, and Bournemouth all in the relegation zone, and by a good margin. West Brom 9 points away from being clear behind West Ham. As you can see, the FA Cup was won by Chelsea, and the Capital One Cup won by Arsenal. Let's see the 3 teams that would be moving up from the Championship to join us in the Premier League next season. So this is what the Championship table looks like, with Hull and Derby County making their way into the automatic promotion spot up to the Premier League. Meanwhile, Sheffield Wednesday and Middlesbrough are in the playoff final. Obviously did not simulate far enough that I could actually see who is going to get the automatic promotion. Both teams being very good, I can't really pick who I would want to see up there. Both Sheffield Wednesday and Middlesbrough both deserve to be in the Premier League. Now, taking a look down the list, you see Blackburn in 6th. They did make the playoffs, but clearly lost to Sheffield Wednesday. Wolves in 7th, Nottingham Forest in 8th, Leeds in 9th, Fulham in 10th, Cardiff down in 13th, QPR way down there in 18th. And then looking at those that got relegated, Bolton continuing its rapid decline. MK Dons and Birmingham round out to the bottom of the table. Looking at the League One table, Millwall and Sheffield United are making their way up into the Championship, and the playoffs had Wigan, Barnsley, Doncaster, and Burton, with surprisingly the top teams, Wigan and Barnsley, losing out to their lower-seeded rivals, as Doncaster and Burton will be fighting it out for that third and final promotion spot into the Championship. Looking down the list, you see Swindon Town in 8th, you see Coventry in 9th, Bradford City are in 12th, Blackpool down in 19th, but still staying up in the League One, and the 4 that are being relegated down to League Two: Crewe, Bury, Southend, and Chesterfield. Rather unlucky for those teams. And then looking at the League Two table, the 3 teams that gain automatic promotion up to League One: Stevenage, Plymouth Argyle, and Luton Town. And then Wickham, Oxford, Yeovil, and Pompey making the playoffs, with both Yeovil and Pompey, as was a similar situation with League One, the bottom seeds taking out their higher-seeded rivals, as Yeovil and Portsmouth are now fighting for that final spot into League One. Taking a look down the table, Notts County in 14th, Hartlepool in 15th, continuing on, and the teams that are being relegated to the National League: Exeter and Morecambe. And then taking a look at the Europa League final first, West Ham made it all the way to the Europa League final, and that could give you some indication why they were doing so bad in the Premier League. But ultimately they fell to Marseille 3-0, as West Ham could not come away with a European trophy this time around. And I may have had to skip a little bit ahead for the Champions League, as it did take place a little later than where I had saved to, but Arsenal completing a terrific treble on the season, defeating Real Madrid 3-1. Let's take a look in here and see who the goal scorers were. Santi Cazorla getting 2 goals, and Hakim Ziyech, I do not know who this player is, I do not know where he came from. It looks like Arsenal bought him from FC Twente in the middle of the season. Looks like at the January transfer window. Hakim Ziyech getting a goal for Arsenal, while Cristiano Ronaldo is the only goal scorer for Real Madrid. It looks like Arsenal were pretty much long ball the entire way, but look at that. Capital One Cup, Premier League, and Champions League for Arsenal. Congratulations to the Gunners. And before we go, let's take a look at the final Everton stats on the season. And we got to go start with the goals first and foremost. And there really was only one man you could give it to during the season. That was Romelu Lukaku. 35 goals in 44 appearances. The man was a machine when it comes to handling the ball and knowing where to shoot. The next closest to him was Kevin Morales, fellow Belgian, 9 goals in 35 appearances, with Gerard Deulofeu with 7 and Ross Barkley with 6. Clearly, Lukaku was one-man show. It really was Lukaku FC here at Everton. Surprisingly, nobody reached double-digit assists in this squad. Ross Barkley had the most on the team, 9 assists through his 35 matches. Though I am noticing that all the assists seem really spread out through the majority of the squad. You have Kevin Morales with 8, Leighton Baines and Aaron Lennon with 7, Deulofeu and Naismith with 6, Lukaku and Connor McElhaney when he was on the squad with 5, McCarthy with 3, Lee Osman with 2, McGeady with 2, and then 5 other players with 1. So there wasn't a main assister. Everybody got in on the action, but of course it wasn't like Lukaku where there was only one guy scoring all the goals. And then finally for average rating, I'm not going to take Mason Holgate's 8.2 into account since he only played in 3 matches. That honor goes to Lukaku once again with a 7.38 average rating, followed closely behind with Gerard Deulofeu in a 7.37, Morales with a 7.33, the only 3 people with a 7.3 rating. And it's not hard to understand why Lukaku got the most because, well, you take a look at all of his goals. What surprised me is both Deulofeu and Morales getting that high, not getting, not just the amount of goals, but for the amount of assists as well. They must have done something like tackling-wise or passing that I just didn't look in depth, and that's why they have the rating they do. And that's it. That pretty much does it for my beta save here at Everton. I cannot wait for the full game to drop on Friday to get started on my next 2 video series, both of which will be released on Sunday. Of course, the first one will be the West Ham United save, where I try not just to up their reputation domestically, try to get them to win a Premier League for the first time in their history, but also try to give them better international recognition, winning a Europa League, winning a Champions League, Club World Cup, if it ever comes to that. But then my other save will be Sheffield FC. They are a level 8 team, and the ultimate goal of that is to try and get them into the Premier League. Who knows? We'll see how far we go with that once we hit the Premier League. But that is way, way down the line, and I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But until that time, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and you want to see more FM content, which will definitely be coming out in the coming weeks and months. Any comments, suggestions, questions, anything else at all, please leave in the comment box below. But as always, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.